Good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. A warm welcome to meeting number 66 of the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club. I am Sunil Gupta, your Sergeant Arms for today's meeting. Before we start the meeting, I want your help to solve an English brain teaser. We usually say, I'm a boy, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Similarly, we say, he's a boy, she's a girl. Now, here, the twist is, the condition is that we have to make a sentence with I and the verb is. So, can you make a sentence with I and is, with the verb is? Anyone?
I is not the right way to form a sentence.
But there is an answer.
So I've given you the answer also and the technicality also.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So you are English teacher, so your sentence is also right. Okay, I have another answer. Anyone would like to give a shot?
Another
Okay.
one could be I is the shortest word in English language.
Good. Yes.
Thank you, Jaspreet, for giving that cue.
And another is, my answer is that I is the 9th letter of the alphabet.
Great. Good.
Okay. So as a sergeant comes, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to highlight some key points, some guidelines. The meeting is allocated a 2-hour time. And to get a better outcome, I would suggest you to be here with the meeting for the entire duration. Your video should be on and your audio should be off. However, you can turn on your audio when you are required to speak or you need to speak. And regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmasters International doesn't put any restriction on speaking on these topics. At the Gabbys Toastmasters Club, we request all the speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and to abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. In line with the Toastmasters International, our club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With these key points, let's call upon today's presiding officer. Today's presiding officer is none other than our Toastmaster, Jaspreet Kaur. Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur is a course prevention of sexual harassment and POXO, protection of children from sexual offenses trainer who helps to build inclusive workplace. She is also a communication and workplace skills coach. Apart from it, she is a CBSE English faculty who has so far helped more than 2,000 students ace the board examinations. And above all, she is the president of the club, the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club. So please put your hands together to welcome today's presiding officer, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. Over to you, Jaspreet.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sunil Gupta. A big round of applause for him for coming up with a unique idea every time. He doesn't repeat the idea. Every time he has something different to start the meeting. So kudos to you for that. Thank you very much for setting the right pace for the meeting to start. And with this, I declare meeting number 66 of the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club to order. And I would also like to extend a warm welcome to all the members and the guests who've joined us for this particular meeting. Now, before I go ahead further, in absentia, I would like to welcome our newest member who joined the club yesterday, Toastmaster Vipul Sharda. So a big round of applause for him to have joined the Gabbys family. Now, I do see one or two guests in the meeting room. So, Srinath, I think you are a guest, but I've seen you earlier also in the meeting, right? So, you are here with us today. Just a quick 30 seconds of introduction. And what do you expect from the meeting today?
Sure. Thank you, Jaspreet. My name is Srinath. I'm with the LA 1824 Club. Been in Toastmasters since the last 5 years. Definitely, I've been coming on and off. This is one of the meetings I wanted to come. Whenever time permits, I would love to join. Today is one of those days. I work for Dell, by the way. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can also see Krishna A in the meeting room.
Hi, Jaspreet. Hi,
Hello.
I'm part of multiple clubs, AA clubs, and I'm from District 126 and District 101. I'm part of multiple clubs. I'm playing role of BP Education in other club and BPPR in other clubs, different clubs. Yeah, that's all about me. Thank you.
Great to have you. And if I'm not wrong, you're not here for the first time. You attended our meeting earlier also.
Yeah, I attended previously. I enjoyed the speeches. You are bringing new people. I enjoyed the
All right.
like
So do stay till the end because I would like to take a feedback from both of you at the end as well. I see Chandra Yusuf also. He
Sure, sure,
dropped
thank
out
you.
earlier. Chandra, you also are a person who visits us off and on. A quick 30 seconds intro about you.
Sorry, because I just changed into the laptop. I am Chandra Yusuf from Indonesia. I think I joined you several times
Yes.
as well.
Mm.
I'm sorry I come very late, isn't it? What
No, no,
time
no.
did it
We,
start?
we we just started. We just started. So you
Oh,
are
thank
there
you
at the
very
right
much.
time. We are just starting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us and stay till the end so that you give us a feedback on how you liked the meeting. So
I
be
will.
there with us till the end. All right. Now, I was just trying to scroll through something on Google and I found it that today happens to be World Storytelling Day, a global celebration of the art of oral storytelling, and it also is International Day of Happiness to promote joy and well-being globally, emphasizing happiness as a fundamental human goal. And then I realized that today is our meeting day. So, my dear friends, we are here at a Toastmasters meeting, and this is a kind of a format, something which was set up, founded by Dr. Ralph C. Smedley 100 years back to spread happiness, to teach public speaking, make that arena available where people could learn it. Public speaking, leadership. So that is what we do here. We tell stories through our speeches. We spread happiness. We do good, we do bad. We are there learning over here with each other. So that is what Toastmasters is. And then we have over here a Gabby's meeting. So Gabby's, and for our special guest today, I would like to say Gabby's is one family having three clubs. Three clubs which meet thrice every week. Thrice, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Seems to be daunting, but yes, we are doing that. Thrice we meet every week, and that is where we try to enable this kind of an atmosphere for everybody to be able to learn through practice. And a lot of hand holding, a lot of mentor mentee relationship, not many things happen. So the right time to get the renewals done. The ones who are still left with the renewals, please go ahead so that in a seamless manner, this mutual learning atmosphere keeps going ahead. Now, we have a special meeting today. We have a wonderful guest with us today, Toastmaster Marcy Renken. I welcome you, Marcy, and I think there are messages popping up in the chat box that they are here because of the poster that was floating around in the groups about this special meeting today. But before I call upon Toastmaster Marcy, let's do the first thing first. I'll call upon the Toastmaster of the day so that she can take ahead the meeting from here. And the Toastmaster of the day today is Toastmaster Priya Singh. Toastmaster Priya, a marketing professional and business management academician with a career spanning over 3 decades in both corporate and academic realms. With a deep passion for creative writing, poetry, and purposeful service, she channels her love for poetic expression through her podcast, Soulful Scrolls. She joined the Gabbys driven by her desire to enhance public speaking skills and grow as an influential voice to make a positive difference and inspire others. Toastmaster Priya, I think you are already doing that. You are on the right track. You've already influenced me and many others. So over to you. Take the meeting ahead from here. Welcome you.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer Toastmaster Jaspreet, for such a wonderful and warm introduction. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all fellow Toastmasters and guests who have joined in today for this very interesting session of the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club. What a wonderful coincidence that today is World Storytelling Day and our educational session is about the art of impactful storytelling. In today's session, we are going to dive into and learn amazing insights about the art of impactful storytelling. Today's meeting will have 3 segments. The first segment will be the educational session. The second segment is the prepared speeches section. And the third is the evaluation section. Our timer for today is Toastmaster Kala. Toastmaster Kala is working as a superintendent in the water board. She loves to play badminton and her passion is attending the Toastmasters meeting. Toastmaster Kala, we will come back to you in the prepared speeches segment for explaining the rules. Thank you so much. Everybody loves telling stories, and in fact, storytelling is very basic, one can say, but it is actually a skill that can be developed and used in a very effective manner as a tool to make a powerful impact. Every storytelling can help us in many ways if it is made effective and impactful. It helps us to engage with our audience better, helps us to inspire people and bring about a change. And also at the professional level, it helps us to win projects. We are very fortunate today to get the opportunity to learn how to cultivate the art of impactful storytelling from an expert who is a master of this art. Let's put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Marcy Renken. Big round of applause for her. Toastmaster Marcy Renken has a background spanning active military service, economics, sales, and raising 6 children. Marcy brings a unique and dynamic perspective to the stage. As the founder of Orchestrated Performance, she helps organizations overcome burnout and achieve peak performance in an ever-changing world. Marcy isn't just a speaker, she gets results. A Toastmasters champion, 2nd place District International Speech Contest finalist, and District 11 Area Director of the Year 2024. Over to you, Toastmaster Marcy Renken.
Recently, I saw a picture of a bridge. There is a bridge, and if I pronounce it correctly, I believe it's called the Zhangjiajie Bridge in China. Has anyone heard of that bridge before? It is a glass bridge that is 1,410 feet long, and it is suspended 980 feet in the air. Now, I do not like heights, so you will not find me on that bridge. But fellow Toastmasters, have you ever seen something seemingly fragile that is remarkably strong? That bridge connects 2 peaks of 2 mountains. Now, today, I want to tell you that I believe each one of us has within us that kind of strength. The kind of strength that bridges the gaps in our lives and allows us to step outside our comfort zone so that we can explore new things. As we begin today, I want you to think of a challenge. I want you to think of a challenge that you have faced in your life, a challenge that you have overcome. Do you have something in mind? When I was in high school, I went to Washington, D.C. And when I was there, I got to witness the rich pomp and circumstance of the U.S. Army bands on the parade field. I knew immediately that is what I wanted to do. So I took my trumpet and I joined the U.S. Army to play music. I would have made a career out of it. I would have spent 20 years in the Army, except one small problem. Apparently, there's a requirement in the military for you to be able to run. And they a lot. I am horrible at running. So I decided that I was going to continue my dreams. I was going to pursue trumpet performance in college, and I was going to leave the military. Well, as I was about to prepare to get out of the Army and start a family with my husband, Tom, to adventure into college and the great unknown, our unit gives orders to deploy to war in Iraq. So here I am on an all-expense paid trip to a beach without an ocean. And I'm filling sandbags. You know, there's another problem. I'm not strong enough to lift a sandbag. A sandbag weighs 40 to 50 pounds. It's a third of my body weight. I mean, if I was home with my husband, I'd have him lift it for me. I'm not like the others. I'm not strong enough to do my job. You know, I joined the Army to be in the band, to play my trumpet. I loved playing in groups to support our troops. Why do I have to do this? I don't want to do it. I'm not strong enough to do it. You know, I have an idea. Hey guys, I'm going to be over there. I'm going to look after our weapons. You know, those inanimate objects, they can't guard themselves. I really miss my husband. I want to be home. I'm supposed to be getting out of the Army. I just wanted to start a family. And that's when Staff Sergeant Langston came over. Said, Renken, why are you over here and not over there with the others, filling sandbags? Staff Sergeant, I'm not strong enough to lift those sandbags, let alone send them down the line to stack around the tent. What good would I be over there? Said Renken, you may not be strong enough now, but you will become strong. Now get over there. What a jerk. What does he know? Yes, Staff Sergeant. In the military, you don't challenge a Staff Sergeant unless you're feeling really brave and maybe want to get yourself in trouble. So here I am, back over, filling sandbags and trying to lift them. Hey guys, is it okay if we just fill these half full? Not an option. What does he know? I'm going to get stronger. Just want to be home with my husband. Hey, I lifted a sandbag. Want to be a trumpet player, not a soldier. I started to realize that with each sandbag I lifted, it was starting to lift a weight off my shoulders. I was slowly becoming stronger. I just want to be a mom. You know, a month before our deployment, my husband and I found out we were expecting our first child. That pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. And just a couple weeks after that, now that you're not pregnant, you can go with the unit. I was supposed to be starting my family. Staff Sergeant Langston wasn't just telling me to lift sandbags. Staff Sergeant Langston was showing me that with each sandbag I lifted, I could take a step to becoming a little bit stronger. It wasn't just about the strength that I've gained in my muscles. It was about overcoming the challenges in my head. What's the sandbag in your life? You faced challenges before. Just a few minutes ago, I asked you to think of that challenge. How did you overcome that challenge? How did you navigate through it? For me, it was dealing with what I was telling myself in my head, that I wasn't strong enough. You know, now, if there's one thing I hate more than running, it's running in sand. We each have strength within us. We have the strength to overcome challenges that we're faced with every single day. When you run into a sandbag, you lift that sandbag. You tell yourself you are strong enough. Now, my time in the military showed me the strength that I had within me, but it wouldn't be the first lesson in my life. We are building bridges within ourselves. The military showed me that I had strength within me that I didn't even know existed. And that bridge of strength gave me resilience to navigate challenges I would face later. On September 24th, 2011, my husband and I found ourselves in the emergency room at Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis, Indiana. My son had fallen and hit his head and was rushed to the ER. By the time we saw our son, he was covered in a mess of wires. He had a ventilator mask on his face. His head was swollen so much that he was hardly recognizable. This wasn't the same little boy I had just left the day before. Our son had been playing in a friend's house, and while they were there, the kids decided it would be fun to jump on a couch. Of course it's fun. Who doesn't like to bounce? And the kids, being the adventurous little souls that they are, decided to take my friend's exercise ball and bounce on the exercise ball on the couch. The couch backed up to a railing, overlooking a two-story foyer. My son bounced on the ball and launched himself over the railing, falling 14 feet onto his head. The doctor said, you know, it's going to take some time. It'll probably take about 2 to 3 days for the swelling to come down. So we're going to put your son into a coma so that his body can heal. And those 3 days came and they went. And then another 3 days came and they went. While we were there in the hospital, I remember there was a nurse. Now, if you are ever in a medical situation, you want a nurse like Nurse Jen. Nurse Jen dotted every I, she crossed every T, and she was very strict. There could be nothing that happened in my son's hospital room without her seeing and double checking and making sure things were taken care of. She was also very serious. There was a day when we noticed that there was some fluid coming from my son's nose. So Jen took a sample and went off When she came back, she said, Mr. and Mrs. Renken, we thought it was a problem, but it's not. No, I mean, it's snot. Your son has a runny nose. So I would like to say that the worst thing that happened to my son while he was in the coma was that he had pneumonia. And that was the first sign. We are so thankful that he came through that. It took 13 days for him to his swelling to come down enough to bring him out of the coma. During that time, I looked over at him and I held his hand. You know, I'm sorry that I haven't been a good mom to you. I know you're going to come through this. When you get out of the hospital, we're going to go to the park, just like you always ask me to. I'm sorry, I always said that I'm too busy. As they brought our son out of the coma, we started the long road of recovery. It was as if my son was a 6-month-old, but he was in a 6-year-old's body. That's the way I like to describe his recovery. He was in a coma for 13 days, in ICU for 17, and stayed at the hospital for a total of 7 weeks. The doctor said, you don't know what it's going to be like. We don't know how his recovery is going to go. They didn't paint a pretty picture, but they didn't tell us it was hopeless either. As we began this journey with our son, we started to watch him go through all of the milestones again. He learned how to use his hands again to write. He had to relearn how to talk. I mean, he had his ventilator on, and he had been intubated for so long that it messed with his vocal cords. He had to learn how to walk again, how to be a kid again. I remember early on, they had a belt tied around his torso, and we would use that belt to help him walk. When we went home on day 49, they had sent a wheelchair. They had a feeding tube that he had been using to supplement his nutrition. By the time we got home, we told them we no longer needed the wheelchair. The next day, they took out the feeding tube. Our son made a miraculous recovery. We are blessed to say that the only thing he broke was his head. As a result of his accident, our son now carries with him an invisible disability. The biggest challenge that we have faced over this last 13, 14 years is that our son looks normal. Doesn't that seem weird? How could the biggest challenge that you face be that you seem normal? I want to be normal. I want to fit in. I want to be like everyone else because I do not want to stand out. But the challenges we faced came by way of not being able, not having teachers recognize his challenges. It wasn't long after his accident, I created a book. And this book is called Looking Up Through the Eyes of Will. And the reason I made this book was to show my son just how amazing he is and show him his miraculous recovery. I even have pictures of the first time he is standing and the first time he is taking steps again to stand. The book goes through his entire journey, and it shares where he is at now. In school, we struggled to make sure that our son got the help he needed because he has the invisible disability. It's hard for him to memorize things. When a teacher in high school told us, your son just needs to study harder. That's cute. I'm glad you paid attention to what his challenges are. The challenges he faces are with short-term memory. The challenges he faces is that he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He is charismatic. He is loving. He is kind. He is funny. And sometimes he might say the wrong thing. An example of that is he was working at Walmart. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Walmart or shop there regularly, but I like Walmart because it saves me a lot of money. I have like 6 kids or 25 kids or something. When you go into Walmart, it is notorious for stories of customers and employees being a little bit different. My son was taking a break sitting on a bench on the front of Walmart outside because he was too nervous and anxious to go back to the working room, the waiting room or the employee coffee room. So he sat out front. Shortly after that, a customer cursed out my son because he needed a shopping cart. My son's job was to reload the shopping carts, and when this customer saw that there were no shopping carts, he cursed out my son. My son was told to go on a break. Sometimes our perception's off. In school, this book became a bridge for us. I started sharing this book with teachers. And one teacher I shared this book with was his art teacher. When I shared this book with his art teacher, it transformed the way she interacted with my son overnight. Here in Indiana, we have something called an individual education plan. And in that plan, people are given a checklist of things, the teachers, the support staff, a checklist of things they have to do to support the students' needs when they don't fit in to a regular everyday classroom. My son went to regular classes, and some were a little bit better than others at understanding his challenges. Some of them were not. When I shared that book, the art teacher no longer saw a laundry list of things that she had to do. She saw the challenges my son had faced, and she knew that she could help Will because she saw the things he enjoyed to do. She learned that he loved to play soccer. She learned that his soccer was replaced with therapy. It's not because he couldn't do those things. He wasn't allowed to do those things. So this book became a bridge, and that bridge has connected us in so many ways. As I started sharing my son's story and the journey that we have been on, and the realization that I had, that maybe my focus was wrong. Maybe I could be a better mom. Maybe, just maybe, I could really live the priorities I say I have in my heart. I took this little book with me to a convention I went to last year in April. And I took this book and I handed it to someone. I was trying to figure out how to promote this book, how to sell this book. And that's not why I'm here today. But I was telling this gentleman, hey, look, I have a book and I'm a speaker. Look at this. And I've got to figure this out, right? When I handed him the book, he said, wait, how did you make this book? I don't think you know what you have. This is a tool. And this tool is going to help millions of children around the world. As a result of me sharing the story about my son, which has helped me navigate the challenges, it's helped him become a better self-advocate because he knows his story better. As a result of this, we are able to now help other children. I think he may have visited your club last week, but Tom, the man in the hat, is the gentleman who talked to me and said I had something. Since last April, we have started to create books for children around the world. The first book we made was for a little girl named Caitlin, and it's her journey book. Caitlin's mom, I handed the book to her and she said, I can't wait to share this book with Caitlin's dance class I want her. I just want her to be able to make friends. There are other books as well. And my most favorite book recently is Sam. Sam is a gifted individual. He is amazing. I met Sam's dad at my local church, and I handed him a card. I said, I don't know your story. I don't know anything about your son, but there's something special about Sam. He was in a wheelchair, and he had a great smile on his face. And I knew immediately I wanted to learn more about Sam. So I invited him to my home and offered that we would make a book for him at no cost to the family. And we did. And Sam's dad, John, has been sharing all over, oh my goodness, social media about how excited he is to share Sam's story. What I'm learning is that not everyone around the world views differently abled children the same way I have. Really the same way I have learned to view differently abled children. But it doesn't start with children, does it? It starts with us. It starts with where we are on our journey. It starts with how we see the world. When you deal with a challenging coworker, a challenging family member, I guarantee you there's more behind that face, more behind that anger, more behind that aggression than you can ever imagine possible. I had a friend once tell me, you know, if you're getting cut off in traffic, if you are dealing with someone that just doesn't seem to get it, just imagine, what if they have cancer? What if that person that cut you off in traffic is racing to the hospital to see their son? The way we perceive the world, the way we bridge these gaps has an immense impact, not on only on our lives, but on the lives of others around us. I want to tie back to that sand that I talked about earlier, those sandbags. Those sandbags that were so impossible for me to lift. By the time I got home from my deployment in the Army, I became stronger than I ever imagined possible. I mean, I had some muscles. I also went on to pursue my dream of being a musician, which turned into an economics degree, but that's another story for another time. The sand in those sandbags represents something different. When sand is put under enough heat and pressure, it becomes something unbreakable. It becomes glass. Well, at my house, glass is very breakable. I do have 6 children. But under the right circumstances, on a bridge in China, every person that steps on the Zhangjiajie glass bridge in China is stepping onto what was once just sand. If you were to pick up one sandbag every day for your entire life, you would have carried enough sand to create all of the glass panels in the entire Zhangjiajie bridge. You may not be strong, you may not start strong, but you can become strong. And the way we become strong is by facing our challenges, by picking up the weight, by picking up the sandbag. So my fellow Toastmasters, my new best friends, when you face that next challenge, pick up the weight, grow with purpose, and become a bridge of hope. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Marcy, for such an inspiring session, for giving us so many inspiring stories from, you know, different pages of your life. It was really, really inspiring and so heartwarming. We really congratulate you, and we really, give all our best wishes for the wonderful work that you're doing for so many children, making their lives so much easier, making the lives of their families so much easier through this publishing of books that you tell their stories to so many people around. It is very true that when we face challenges, it is then that we discover the inner strengths that we possess. So your stories truly resonated with me, and thank you so much for this wonderful session. I now would request the audience, if they have any questions to put forth to Toastmaster Marcy, please go ahead.
I have a question. Hi, Marcy. My name is Srinath. I've been to Walmart many times. I was lived in the Washington, D.C. between 2012 and 2015. So with that, right, I hear that you have 6 children. I have 2 daughters. One is 8 and one is 18. How do you manage all 6 of them and same time take care of your work and other things, so many things you do in parallel? Just want to hear some tips.
Yeah, that is a great question. I'm going to butcher names. I apologize. It's Srinath.
Yes.
Srinath. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a great question. I actually, over the last, I would say 10, 15 years, as a result of my son going through what he has gone through, we have had support services like therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and on and on and on, and doctors. And you're wondering, what does this have to do with anything? Well, through that, I have learned a lot of skills and tools that we use at our home. I've learned how to prioritize. I've learned how to schedule. Time blocking is something I learned many years ago in a little bit of a sales training I was in. That tool has saved my life on more occasions than I can count. When you sit down and you think about what your priorities are, you look at your schedule and see if they match. And if they don't, you need to reset your schedule. And when it comes to parenting, it's no different. If your kids are a priority, if you want to make sure you have family time, don't schedule anything else in the family time. And when you do have that family time, make it fun and enjoyable. It doesn't have to be overplanned. My family has dinner together almost every night of the week. But we also have a musician who is playing in a high school band. We have 2 kids who compete competitively for gymnastics. I'm very involved in Toastmasters and in networking groups and speaking. My husband is a full-time software engineer. My oldest son is about to venture into college. So Will is now 20 years old, and he has recently been accepted to an art school in Louisville, Kentucky. So the best advice I can give you is to really sit down and think what your priorities are. And if your family, your children, and balance is a priority, then start seeking out tools that can help you achieve that balance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful insight you gave into bringing up your children and what kind of tips we can pick up for, implementing in our own lives with our own children and family. Thank you so much. Anybody else in the audience would like to ask any question or any other advice or tips from Toastmaster Marcy?
I will tell you, while people are, mulling over all those amazing questions they have, when I was trying to figure out what it was that I could share with people, I decided to come up with an idea, and it's called this. You guys can go there. I'm not trying to over promote anything, but it's called 52 Weeks to Thrive. And when I wanted to create a video tip for people that help them in their work, in their life, in their family for the balance, I came up with this idea. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have 52 tips. How do I come up with 52 tips? How can I keep people engaged for a whole year? And then I started writing down everything that I had developed habits for over the last so many years of my life. And as I did, I've come up with over 200 tips now that I can share. And each of them are simple steps. And to go back to Srinath, those little tips help me every day. And I think each one of us has those skills. We have the knowledge within us. Sometimes we just lack the, I would say, discipline to carry through on those. So I created that because people would ask me, how do you do it all? How do you do this? How do you accomplish so many things? And then I started writing it down and realized that there was more within me than I even realized.
That's really amazing. And we would definitely love to know those tips that will help us also in our journey as parents, as individuals, to be more successful. Thank you so much, Marcy, for sharing so much with us. Once again, I'll request others, if there's anybody else who has any further questions, they can mention it in the chat box, and I'll definitely forward them to Marcy and get back to you with her answers. Thank you so much, Marcy, for this amazing, engaging session. We had a wonderful time listening to all your inspiring stories. It has really kindled a lot of inspiration within me personally after listening to such heartwarming stories about children. Thank you so much.
Priya, I
Thank
would
you for
want
having
to
me.
add a bit over here. Marcy, thank you very much. So when you and I connected, we never knew it would happen. You know, your session would happen on today, this day, today, which is storytelling day, happiness day. So you have told a story of your life, the entire journey. And the moral was how to hold on to the happiness quotient. What a coincidence it was. And a thing that I liked really very much is having dinner together, at least one meal together, which is something very, very simple, but we are forgetting it. So it's just that hold on to your basics and you have a happy life to sail through all the odds that come up. Thank you very much for making us, what you said was just introspect. Everything is there within us. That is the only, we are just running. So pause and ponder is, I guess, what is the message. Thank you really very much for coming over here and reminding us about that. Thank you really very much on behalf of the entire Gabbys family.
Thank you.
Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer, for those concluding remarks. They were really very, very true, and we really benefited a lot. Now we'll take a short 5-minute break, and then we'll come back at, it is 7:48. We'll come back at 7:53. We are back from our brief break, and I welcome everyone to the second segment of today's session. What a wonderful day it is today. It is the World Storytelling Day, and we had such an amazing educational session about storytelling, and the amazing Toastmaster Marcy spoke and told us interesting and heartwarming stories of so many children, including her own children. Talking of that, don't we all agree that we have so many stories from our childhood that we always cherish and would love to share with everybody around us? I remember an instance when I was all of 10 years, and we had gone on a trip to south of India and living with a family friend. My elder sister happened to irritate me, and I was very, very irritated with her and wanted to teach her a lesson. As luck would have it, I just saw her walk into the bathroom to have a bath, and the devil inside me knocked at the door and planted a naughty idea or a vicious idea in my head. What I did, I quietly tiptoed in the room and locked at the bathroom door from outside. And then I started swaying at the door of the room, waiting to hear my sister shout out when she realized she was locked. But there was another surprise there to, take me and jolt me up. the door on which I was sewing suddenly snapped shut. And the key to that room was inside the room. And when this realization dawned on me, I was shell-shocked, I was scared, and I knew that I had to go and take help. And I sheepishly and very scared, I went to my parents and my elder brother and told them about this. And I started weeping. I didn't know what to do. I was feeling so bad and guilty. My parents were very upset with me. I didn't expect you to do something so mean with your sister. My mother, she reprimanded me and she got very angry. Anyways, we went back and I started praying to God to help me solve the situation. And thank God, my sister's presence of mind worked. She somehow kept, pushing at the door, and thankfully the latch from outside opened and she came out. She opened the room, the door of the room, and voila, she was out. It was such a big relief for me. And every time I remember this story, I really relive those moments and I get a shiver in my spine. And I promise myself I won't do something so vicious. So stay tuned. We'll continue with the prepared speech segment, and then I'll come back and we can share our stories briefly related to our childhood. So I quickly move to the prepared speech segment. Our timer for today's session is Toastmaster Kala. Toastmaster Kala will quickly share the rules of the timing rules for the prepared speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster Kala.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today I am playing the role of time. As we all know that time is very precious. To know the value of 1 minute, we have to ask a person who missed a train. To know the value of 1 second, we have to ask a person who avoided an accident. To know the value of 1 millisecond, we have to ask a person who won an award in Olympics. Dear Toastmasters, as we all know that time is very precious. Therefore, we have to use it wisely. Having said this, in any Toastmasters meeting, we have 3 main segments, but today we have 2 segments, that is prepared speech session and then evaluation session. In prepared speech session, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll show green card at 6 minutes, I'll show green card, and 6.5 minutes, I'll show yellow card, and then at 7 minutes, I'll show red card. For L4 and P2's project, the time limit is 10 to 15 minutes. For 10 minutes, I'll show green card, and for 12 minutes, I'll show yellow card, and at 15 minutes, I'll show a red card. And in evaluation session, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. I'll show red card at 1 minute, green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. This is a brief report of my role. All the very best to all of you, and more to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kala, for making us aware of the timer rules. I'll quickly move on to the first speaker of today's session. The first speaker of today's prepared speeches is Toastmaster Disha Kiran. Disha Kiran, I see that you're there. Yeah, thank you very much. Disha Kiran will be evaluated by Toastmaster Smruti Sagarika Mohanty. I have a confirmation that Toastmaster Smruti is present today. Thank you. Toastmaster Disha Kiran is presently working with ANZ Bank. She is a keen individual open to learning new things and living each moment to its fullest. She likes creativity, Gothic architecture, intriguing art, and having worthwhile conversations with people. She is also the secretary of the AMTC club. Toastmaster Disha is attempting level 3, project number 2 of dynamic leadership. And the project title is Make Connections Through Networking. The purpose of the project is for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through networking. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience in networking. The speech length, timer please note, is 5 to 7 minutes. The speech title is Art of Building Meaningful Connections. Over to you, Toastmaster Disha. Art of Building Meaningful Connections. Art of Building Meaningful Connections, Toastmaster Disha.
Just a minute. I would request timer, please switch on your camera. Timer, Kala. Kala, please switch on your camera. You have to be spotlighted. Okay. Now you can start, Disha.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I shall start. I'm still not able to see the timer actually. Is she spotlighted?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I wasn't able to. Anyways, I shall start. Thank you so much. And yeah, let me start. Hello, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. So imagine walking into a grand art gallery. From afar, you see beautiful paintings that are flawless, seamless, and perfect. But as you take a step closer, you start noticing the brush strokes, the uneven textures, and the tiny imperfections. So, what I learned is relationships, whether personal, professional, or even networking, are just like that. From a distance, they seem effortless. But close up, when you see they're actually flawed, they require a lot of patience, understanding, and care. So today, I would like to talk about one of the networking events where I met my mentor. So what happened is it was one sultry afternoon where I was working from home, and my office had organized a huge networking program at ANZ Bank. And I was in a hurry. My manager, he calls me up and he's like, Disha, you know what? I would require you to do emceeing for the day. And I was like, sir, this is very quick notice. But he was like, see, you are a part of Toastmasters Club. The organization obviously expects huge things from you. And then I was like, okay, fine, let me just attempt because I cannot say no when he's mentioned that I'm a Toastmaster. It's a matter of my reputation. So I said, okay. And when I checked the distance between where I was and where the meeting was happening, it showed 36 minutes. And then I told my manager, I said, okay, so I'll be there in like around 38 minutes. Anyways, I'm kind of dressed up. I don't have to, really take a lot of time. So when I was driving from point A, that is where I was staying, till my meeting place, which is point B, Google Maps said 36 minutes. GPS showed that it is 36 minutes. But what GPS did not know was that as I was going from point A to point B, that is from my home to the place where I was supposed to do emceeing, there was a road blockage. And now how do I explain this to the manager? Because I clearly told this is what the GPS is showing. It's just showing 36 minutes. But as I was driving from my home to that place, Indian roads, there are cows on the roads all the time. Right? A cow was basically blocking my car. But how do I explain something like this in a professional setup? Saying, can I say there are buffaloes on the road? I'm not able to move faster and stuff like that. And genuinely, because of that cow which was blocking my way, I was 10 minutes late. And as soon as I rushed inside, my manager wasn't very happy to see me. But then there was this another person who welcomed me with a broad smile. So this lady was my mentor. And my mentor could smile at me despite me being so late was because of the relationship we had. So sometimes when we talk about building connections, we mostly think about playing the game where we think about what can we get from the person or is how to make it like a win-win situation. But what I had with my mentor was a connection that wasn't just transactional but transformational. So she exactly knew what the issue was. And she trusted me, of course. So though the GPS said a different time, when I got late, when I could tell her this is the reason, she trusted me. So Maria Toastmasters, that is the first thing in building effective relationships. Trust. Trust is so important. I feel the word trust has so much of depth that we do not understand. Sometimes we tend to believe people, we tend to rely on a network, but do we actually trust them? And how does trust come? Trust does not merely come with just talking to people and just approaching them and saying, hey, you know what, this is what I can give you, and this is what I can expect from you. Trust is something, I feel it's something more intimate. It is more below the surface level where people connect with each other. But relationships, like I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, are definitely flawed, be it any kind. Sometimes you might try to go to like a networking event and you can just approach people, and sometimes people might talk to you like they're not actually interested to build relationships, where your prime motive in that place would to actually connect with people, expand your network. Yes, there would be disappointments, but I feel being the person you expect to be to you is the best thing to start off. Anyways, back to my meeting. So I went to the meeting. I started off talking about how I was late, and I started with apologizing first, and then I go there, I start emceeing, I welcome everybody, and I thank them for like being there, and I crack a little bit of jokes and stuff like that. So something interesting happened. So later, after all the networking and the banking business, which my I work for ANZ, which is a bank, of course. So we mostly talk about the figures, the profits, and the loans and the interest and how the bank has grown, etc. So what happened is I think after my MCing was done and things like that, I met this person who was a general manager of ANZ. Amazing person. You know, I started talking to him, we exchanged handshakes, and I was talking about growth and stuff like that. But something about this person stood out to me, something was different in this person. When I saw his eyes, they sparkled. There was some sort of genuine care in that person. When you talk to a person and when they smile at you, the warmth of the smile radiates out love, right? So that is what I saw in this general manager. So as I started speaking to him, we spoke about the bank and where the bank is heading and where my team is heading personally and what I am doing as a assessor in my team and things like that. But as I spoke more to the person, I felt there was something more I was supposed to know. So my question was, I was like, sir, could you please tell me about your journey? All this while it's just me talking, saying, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to learn, this is what the bank is up to you, etc. But I want to know how you got to this phase. So this person who's a general manager who's had over 30 years of experience in the bank started by saying, Disha, life is not full of sunshine and butterflies for everybody. For some people, it is a struggle. Like you are a graduate and you wanted to progress in your career, and that's where you started work. But for people, there are certain people who are battling life and death, and certain people get a job because they're desperate, their families are in need. And he told me when he started applying for this bank, he was an engineer, he didn't want to work for a bank, but those were desperate times 30 years ago where he couldn't get a job and he didn't have money to go to the interview. And apparently ANZ Bank was very close to his home, because of which he could just walk into the interview. And he told me his mom was in the fourth stage of cancer and they desperately needed funds, and that desperation brought him to our bank, which is ANZ. So I was shocked. I was like, this person's the general manager of ANZ, and he's got such a brutal past. And sometimes when we get into the depths of why things happen, we understand what drives people. Sometimes it's not just passion; it's sometimes desperation. sometimes people need a job and they have to work hard, if not for themselves, for their parents or their family. And that's why they sacrifice so much. So the journey would started as a sacrifice out of desperation. When it went on, the manager told me, like, ANZ was a good place to work. And he was so blessed. He felt so blessed because something that came out of desperation turned out to be a blessing. The good work culture, good pay, good benefits, etc. He was very privileged. That's the good thing about life. Not every time it's like really dark and bad stuff happens. Sometimes when you just take your chance, just go there, start a job, God just blesses you, saying, hey, you know what, you've been through so much, just like be settled and stuff like that. So it was amazing, and this is one of the most amazing connections I built in my previous encounter with this person. And yeah, I think thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Disha, for a wonderful speech. I totally agree that, when we come across genuine people in our interactions, and we definitely are able to connect with them because they express, they indicate through their eyes, or like you felt that a person was very genuine, and that is a real connection. And life really helps us, or I would say the universe helps us to come across such amazing people in our life. So networking definitely helps us to build good relationships. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to the second speaker today, Toastmaster Shakir Ahmed. The evaluator for Toastmaster Shakir is Toastmaster Sudharma Perera. Thank you, Sudharma. I can see you there. A brief introduction about Toastmaster Shakir. He is currently working in Lam Research Corporation, Bangalore as Product Change Analyst lead with over 12 years of experience in global operations. Born and brought up in a small town called Malleshwaram near Vellore in Tamil Nadu. His hobbies include jogging, playing cricket. Toastmaster Shakir is attempting Level 4 Project 1 of Leadership Development, and the project title is Leading Your Team. The purpose of this project is to lead a small team to the completion of the project. The duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The speech title is Bud to Blossom. Over to you, Toastmaster Shakir. Bud to Blossom, Toastmaster Shakir. Toastmaster Shakir, Bud to Blossom.
Thank you, Chairman. Am I audible? Is visible? Thanks for the information, sir. A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. A leader must inspire, or his team will expire. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm here to take you through my journey from a beginner to an SME or a lead in my organization, Lam Research. In other words, from an emerging bud to a beautiful blossom, which I believe so. I started my career on my journey with Lam in 2017 on November 11th as a consultant via a company called Altan Technologies in Bangalore. I underwent process training for around 2 to 3 weeks and started working with some hand-holding, typically like a new team member in any team or any department does. As a budding engineer, I slowly evolved from where I was while joining to 2 years after that. Fortunately, I got an opportunity to become an RFT, which is a full-time employment at Lam Research. And coincidentally, my joining date was the same date as my birthday. And I was cloud in the 9. As a budding engineer, after becoming an RFT, fortunately or unfortunately, I got a lot of responsibilities and stuff that came to my plate. Not because I became an expert or so, but because people started leaving from my team, either through an internal job movement to other department, to the other outside market, jobs outside the market. And that too in big tech giants like Google and Microsoft. The irony is, those who joined in my team after me also started leaving the company. One fine day, when I was having coffee with my senior manager, jokingly he asked me, "Hey Shakir, what are you trying to hear new Chinese, the members in your team? Everybody is leaving from the team, and that too for the big companies." I was totally flabbergasted. What could have been my answer? I was totally speechless. I just gave a smile and then left from there. We ended up with the resource constraint in our team from the end of year 2021, which continued for 4 long years till August 2024. Yes, you heard right. It was 4 long years we had the resource constraint in our team. We were 7, but we ended up landed with 3 members team at this point of time. With this handful of people, I got plenty of opportunities, being the mentor, being the SME, who we call it as subject matter expert. I got an opportunity to lead many projects in my team. Just last year, I myself initiated 5 projects. And with these 3 people, I could able to successfully complete it. And I could able to implement that, the solution what was expected from the projects. So over the years, I got very good experience and expertise and the confidence from my top management, which helped me to gain back-to-back promotions in just 2 years with 3 appraisals. Hopefully my wife is not hearing here. And that gave me a confidence. And I have also learned what the leadership is actually means, what the accountability is actually mean by. I was getting an opportunity to lead a team and also to work with cross-functional teams and their leads and their top managements. And that helped me to gain a lot of insights being the lead of the team. I was part of Toastmasters as a president for last 1 year. And we also had an event during my president role, which was the milestone event, 200th session that we were having it in the mid of last year. And Toastmaster Rohit Kokka were there in our office to grace the occasion. And all these helped me to gain a lot of experiences, right from the soft skill development, right from handling the people, right from handling the project, whatever the hiccups comes, how to tackle that, all those stuffs I could able to learn. And I realized a leader is not just the one who commands. He or she should be the one who should run the show with any challenges that that person can see, should be able to recover that from that challenge and tackle that and go over. And I was also worked as a board member for one of our sustainable committee in our organization. And that gave me another opportunity to lead a different team altogether with a different purpose of having that organization. And we got a lot of appreciations, both from our inner management from Lam Research as from the outside organization. So I want to end this by stating a quote: "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." The key to successful leadership is influence, not the authority. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shakir, for a very engaging speech on how you boldly took up challenges and in turn, it turned out to be a hidden blessing. Yes, I totally resonate with that because life throws a lot of adverse situations in our lives. And sometimes if we boldly, face those challenges, they turn out to be hidden blessings which bring out the best in us, and we realize what it gives us an opportunity to excel. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Shakir. We will now proceed to the third speaker of today's prepared speech segments, Toastmaster Ashwini. Toastmaster Ashwini will be evaluated by Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. Toastmaster Ashwini works as a manager for corporate
Just a
partnerships.
minute, Toastmaster Priya. I don't see her in the room. Is she there? I don't think
She
so.
was there.
No, she just messaged something happened with her laptop. She's trying to fix it.
Oh,
And in case she needs some more time, so we can go ahead either with the evaluations of the first and the second speaker, or
sure.
maybe some quick audience activity.
Yes, I'll just do that. So, sorry for this small interruption. We'll come back to the third prepared speech in a bit once the speaker joins back. As I said, we all have beautiful stories of our childhood, which we would love to share. So I would request some members of the audience here. I see a lot of guests have joined today. So I would call upon some of them to share some of their experiences with us. Can I see Toastmaster Srinath? Is Toastmaster Srinath there? I think he's not there. We have Toastmaster Krishna A.
We can have Toastmaster Kendall Cato also to speak. He also visits us regularly.
Great. Toastmaster Kendall Cato, can we have you share some childhood memory with us? Some story that you would like us to know about your childhood in a brief 30 seconds?
Sure. Well, I could just share that. Thank you very much. I could just share what my schoolhood is. My childhood is in school, secondary school here. That would be from 11 to 17. Pretty much, I was good at the first 2 or 3 years in school, but the last 2 years coming close to exams, my schoolwork was terrible. I was like in the last 3 when results were always called. And I always remember this guy in another class called me in one evening and say, "How are your grades?" I said, "It's terrible." He said, "Hold on. I want you to stay back with me every evening for the next 2 months, and we're going to do some work." Lo and behold, we did some work. My grades started to go up, and everybody in the class was surprised where this dunce boy suddenly changed. And I was able to pass my exams thanks to this guy, who is incidentally got a scholarship to India to study music. So that is one experience I would like to share. Thanks much.
Thank you so much, Kendall Cato, Toastmaster Kendall Cato, for that lovely memory of your childhood and how you were able to excel in your school exams with the help you got by staying back in school. Thank you very much. Now, can I call upon Toastmaster Chandra Yusuf, or is Chandra Yusuf there?
Yes, I'm still here. Yes.
Okay, can you share some childhood memory of yours, a story from your childhood briefly in 30 seconds? We would all love to listen to something.
Sure. Well, I was born in a very poor family living in a village. My father was uneducated, my mother was uneducated, but I had a dream. I want to change this life. So I continued studying. And by studying, I could reach my dream come true. I'm very, very satisfied with that. I could make my parents happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chandra Yusuf, for sharing that inspiring anecdote from your life. Yes, definitely. One must dream big, and that dream drives us to help us achieve our goal eventually. We just need to keep persevering. I'd like to invite one more guest or Toastmaster. Can we have, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, Ashwini has joined.
Okay, so we'll go back to our prepared speaker, Toastmaster Ashwini. Toastmaster Ashwini, she works as a manager for corporate partnerships at Impact Guru, where she gets to blend strategy and creativity to make a difference. Outside of work, she's a chess enthusiast and loves unwinding with thought-provoking podcasts. She's excited to be part of Toastmasters to improve her communication skills and connect with amazing people like you, like us. Toastmaster Ashwini will be attempting level 4 project number 2 of presentation mastery, and the project title is Handling Difficult Audience. The purpose of the project is for member to practice skills needed to face audience when they are needed to face challenges when they present outside of the Toastmasters Club. The speech length is 10 to 15 minutes, and the speech title is Big Change Begins Small. I would like to point out here that her disruptors, since her topic is handling difficult audience, there will be some disruptors who are already assigned to cause the disruption. So I would request others not to ask any questions to the speaker. Thank you very much. So over to you, Toastmaster Ashwini. Big change begins small, Toastmaster Ashwini. Toastmaster Ashwini, big change begins small.
I guess today the biggest disruptor for her is her system. She just now called. Again, it is disrupting, not allowing her to switch on. It's just conking off again and again. So I think we need to give her some time, or the VP will give her a new date. And today we can have an impromptu table topic section if that works well. So if you want, she's there in the waiting room. Ashwini, just please give a quick yes or no if you can go ahead. Else we'll move ahead with the table topic thing today.
Toastmaster Jaspreet, I've actually joined from my phone.
So,
Like very badly, I'm stuck with my laptop. I'm just not able to, join the meeting. Even if I'm joining, you are not able to hear me.
not a problem, not a problem. So then you can take another date and we'll proceed ahead with the meeting. Toastmaster Priya, we can have a quick table topic section. If you can take it ahead, else I'll take it up, whatever you say.
As you say, I mean, if you allow me to continue with the childhood stories as the table topic, or
Please take the message I've sent. It's perfect. You're going on well. We are enjoying it. So I'll sit back and enjoy. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kala. For the table topics, can you just briefly read out the timing rules?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. For table topic session, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll show yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll show red card. All the very best to all of you, and over to TMOD.
So we are back to the challenging and yet the fun part of any Toastmaster session, that is the table topics. I hope everybody in the audience is ready to practice the art of impromptu speaking with the table topics session. And I will call upon members from the audience and the guests to come forward. Once they show the indication that they are willing to participate, I will give a topic to them. It's going to be an impromptu topic session for me also, because I was not prepared for table topics. So I'll carry on with childhood memories as the theme and stories from childhood. So who would like to go for first in this table topic session? I would request maybe, do we have Sri Lakshmi? Is Sri Lakshmi there? I can see Sharad Jain.
Yes, Priya,
So
I'm
Sharad.
around.
Hello.
Sri
Is
Lakshmi is
Roshni?
there. Sri Lakshmi is there.
Sri Lakshmi, hi. Would you like to take up the first table topic?
Sure, Priya. I would not be able to come on video. I'm just in another meeting, but yeah, I would gladly take up a topic.
Okay, great. So Sri Lakshmi, your table topic is a memory from your childhood which lingers on till today. A memory from your childhood which lingers on till today.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Priya. So, one fond memory that I've got is with respect to my childhood. And I was born in Bangalore, but I was raised in Qatar, which is in Middle East. So, I always have a plan to go back because I did my entire schooling in Middle East. So I guess there was a community there where we were actually there, and I had like a set of friends over there, and they had like a community park. So that is like one of the memory that comes to my mind, and the schooling that I did. So there were like a lot of Indian friends over there for me, and the community and the place where I stayed and the schooling, since major part of my childhood was there. So that is one of the fond memory that I've got, and there's always a plan to go back there. Time at two, I still have time left.
Yes, I believe. Kala,
Yeah.
does she have time left?
Yeah, sure, you have.
You can continue.
I guess that's one of the memory that comes to my mind because of me, upbringing over there. I guess nothing else comes to my mind now. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for that lovely childhood memory. And I'll quickly go to the next participant. So who would like to volunteer next for another table topic?
Can I volunteer?
That is
Yusuf.
Yusuf. I'm sorry, can I take someone else? Since
Okay.
you already
No
got the chance. I'd like to
Yes.
call upon Sharad Jain, if he's there. Sharad Jain, would you like to take the next table topic? Okay, can I call upon Toastmaster Krishna A? Toastmaster Krishna A, would you like to attempt a table topic? I can see Wasim Akram. Wasim Akram, would you like to attempt a table topic? Meeta ma'am, would you like to attempt a table topic? Meeta ma'am, would you like to attempt a table topic, Toastmaster Meeta? Great. So, describe a time when you got into trouble as a child.
I just trouble. I believe that when childhood, going back to my childhood, I get scared because that was the day when I was very small. And I had got that holy, I remember the holy time. And I had got that first time one gun, water gun, which in that we can put color and we can put like this spray to everyone. Now it is very familiar, very common, but that time it was a very new. And I was staying in Gujarat. My father had sent as a gift to play over there because in Gujarat we play Holi a lot. And that I didn't knew how to fill the water, and I just went near the tank. I was just having that, and all the street kids, we all were playing. Nobody had that time that type of gun which I had got it from Bangalore. And I was staying in a small town, it was Gujarat, Rajkot. That was a very amazing for everyone. So we thought, let us fill the water and just pray like everyone, and we were enjoying. Suddenly, someone wanted to do that and they pushed me and I fell inside the tank. And that water tank, I was shouting and everyone got scared. All the kids ran away from there. And that was the building construction tank. Suddenly, neighbor house, someone heard the noise. They came out and they they removed me. That was the day. Still, I am scared of the water. So that is my thing. So I don't play Holi from that time onward. Over to you.
That was really interesting, Toastmaster Meeta. Definitely Holi, the festival of colors. We all get very naughty and, land up in trouble many a time. So I can really relate to the story you have narrated. I also don't play Holi because of the kind of pranks that come up. I'd take the next person. The next person, do we have Roshni Banerjee? I can see her there. Roshni, are you there? Toastmaster Roshni. Would you like to take up the next topic? Okay. Anyone would like to raise their hand for another table topic? Yogita, would you like to go ahead for another table topic, please? Yogita, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, great. So, Yogita, what is your favorite game or outdoor activity as a child?
Have you seen those films, those cartoon characters that used to live in the La La Land, in the dreamland? I was that child. I didn't have any favorite hobby. My favorite hobby was thinking like I am a princess. I used to live in my wonderland all day long. From the moment I used to wake up, I used to sit like a princess. I used to do the things like a princess. And if there is anything on my skirt, on my uniform, I would cry. I would make it appear as if something terrible has happened with me. Oh my God, somebody can do that with me? No, no, no. I cannot tolerate this. It's me. Come on, Yogita Upadhyay. But soon my mother broke that bubble for me. She said, okay, whatever it is, you are not in any La La Land. I was blessed with good education and good parents. And the best part is that they only helped me see that dream until I was 7 to 8 years. The moment I grew up, they showed me the reality very soon, so that I do not end up staying in that dreamland and not doing anything worth with my life. So my favorite memory of in being in the childhood is of doing nothing, and I miss it terribly. What should I say about it? I mean, so those were the days when everything was served on a plate. That was about me. What about you, Toastmaster Priya?
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita, for such a lovely anecdote of your childhood. Yes, doing nothing is also an activity, and we all miss that part of our childhood where, we are just doing nothing and everything is served on a platter to us, and we are so happy-go-lucky. That is the best part of childhood, being happy and carefree all the time. Toastmaster Kala, do we have time for one more table topic?
Yes, we can take one more.
Thank you so much. Can I call Toastmaster Wasim Akram? Toastmaster Wasim, are you there?
Yes, miss, I'm there.
Great. Thank you very much for coming up. So, would you like to go ahead with the next table topic?
Yeah.
All right. What is a childhood habit that you still carry till today?
Oh my God. That's a pretty lovely question, madam. And since I am like the other honorable guest, Marcy Renken, from another state, I am from your neighborhood. I am from Pakistan. Okay, coming to the point. It's a very unique thing. Honestly, you might have not heard of this thing, or you might have not, but Possibly you might have seen somebody in your surroundings, a child who writes in the air. So that's what I've been doing since my childhood. And let me tell you a wonderful outcome of this thing, that I am, a very good writer. Like when I post something on the Facebook, I'm not talking about the AI era. I'm talking about 5 years back when we didn't have these resources. And whenever I used to post something on the Facebook or anywhere, the social media forums we had, Facebook, we had WhatsApp. So there was something that my friends and my colleagues would say that your idea was a bit unique. And I can really relate it to this thing that I actually, when you do the writing in the air, you are constantly thinking about something. So your
Yeah.
brain is continuously working on a lot of things. So, and that is another thing that, moving your hand and thinking of something, you are trying to be a multitasker. So it is really a kind of, sometimes my parents and my elder siblings, they would snub me and they would, what are you doing? We are in a wedding ceremony. What actually it is that you're writing down in the air? So I had no explanations. It was a kind of my habit since my childhood. And, another funny thing is that my daughter, she's 3 years old. She does almost the same things. She sometimes while lying in the bed, she moves her fingers. So that's something that I've been doing. That's one of the habits that I've been still carrying on with me. That's it. Over to you, Priya Singh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Wasim. That was so interesting. It's a very interesting habit. I haven't heard of it. And yes, it must be very challenging also to explain to people around you what you're doing. So thank you very much. I thank all the participants for the lovely participation and the interesting and childhood anecdotes that you all have shared. I'm already feeling so happy and carefree listening to all of you all. Thank you so much. We quickly move to the third segment, the evaluation segment. And we have two speakers today. So we will move to the evaluation. The evaluator for speaker one is Smruti Sagarika Mohanty. Smruti Sagarika Mohanty will be evaluating Toastmaster Disha, speaker one of today. Smruti Sagarika Mohanty is an experienced B2B sales professional and certified soft skills trainer with a decade of industry exposure, currently pursuing a full-time master's degree in the US. She's a mindful introvert striving to become a profound public speaker. Grateful for camaraderie of the Toastmasters fraternity, she actively serves as a club mentor, club coach, and an area director across various districts. While continuously learning and growing through her pathways, she also serves as the president of the Gabbys online Toastmaster Club. Over to you, Toastmaster Sagarika Smruti Sagarika Mohanty. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. Well, in the world of algorithm, hashtags, followers, right swipe, left swipe, your speech today, Toastmaster Disha, gave me a direction about the importance of human connection. That was the true essence of your entire speech, which I made a note of. Today, we were speaking about making good connection in a networking event. And the purpose of this particular speech was for you to be very specific, experience an event, come and share with us the strategy which will help the audience in good. You met the project objective by giving us a glimpse of not only the event, rather how you made it to the event. You introduced the character of your mentor, the general manager, that helped us to have a better engagement with you, with your speech content and the delivery part. You are a natural speaker and you have a very narrative way of sharing your story, which I loved the most. Well, let's try to do something. Let me try to challenge you more. Let me try to make you to a better profound speaker rather than suppressing yourself to be a very narrative one. How can we do the same? First thing first, Disha, When we are explaining something and the very opening part is where we catch all the attention. How about to make it more intriguing in nature? I'll give you two solutions to see if that can be helpful for you. Your first opening was very poetic, rather very dramatic with respect to the choice of words. Like, imagine you are entering a meeting room or a painting, the canvas is over there. Try to dramatize the same by using your gestures and using the right tone to it. Just try to switch the tone and just say, picture yourself. You entering a meeting room. You are seeing a painting which seems flawless from the distance, but when you go close to it, you see the loopholes. I'm just giving an example. Try to dramatize the same. When you watch your recording, you might notice that your hand gestures were towards the lower torso throughout the entire meeting. You were explaining with a very constant and monotonous gesture. Try to break the wall and use it here somewhere. Give me back, front, take the distance and use the wall as much as possible. That is first suggestion which I would like to make. Second was with respect to the body movement. Again, I request you sincerely go and check the recording. Throughout the narrative, you were swinging on your right leg continuously. That was slightly distracting for us as an audience. If you really feel that that's a natural tendency, optimize it very well. Rather using it, try to bring it with the rhythm of your script. If you're explaining something which you need to emphasize on, move forward. If you really want to explain something which need a less attention, move backward or use a left or right. These movement and gesture help us to make more qualitative to our content. These are my two suggestions which might help us to bring more justice to the content and the delivery. But overall, you have a very natural way of explaining a story. So let's try to convert the story to a very beautiful speech by adding the extra drama, bringing an intriguing opening, and taking a right command of your involuntary actions. Thank you so much. I wish you good luck for all your future speeches. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Smruti, for that very insightful evaluation. And we'll move on to the next evaluator. The evaluator of Speaker 2 is Toastmaster Sudharma Perera. Toastmaster Sudharma Perera will be evaluating Toastmaster Shakir Ahmed. Toastmaster Sudharma Perera is a self-proclaimed introvert with a knack for finding happiness in meeting new people and embracing fresh experiences. In 2024, she proudly served as Vice President Education of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club, where she navigated the whirlwind of 160 meetings with grace and good humor. Now, as the treasurer of the club, Sudharma continues to bring her humble, fun, and approachable spirit into every interaction. Want to say hi or share a laugh? She's just a message away and always happy to connect. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudharma Perera.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. A bud to blossom, Toastmaster Shakir. Congratulations, first of all, for getting 3 appraisals within 2 years. It shows your hard work of leadership and your results. Kudos for you that. And again, kudos for you achieving project objectives, leading a small team and sharing impact and your experience. With your speech, I got to know you are not restricted to the job, but also that you went for the Toastmasters and lead president role and sustainability committee, and you shared your experience with us. Thank you for that, and again, kudos for you achieving project objectives. What I like in your speech most, you open the speech and close the speech with quotes. Leader shows the way and goes the way. And closing was influence, not the command. That was a great opening and closing, Toastmaster Shakir. Great work. And second one, I like your subtle humor. When you say about you got 3 appraisals within 2 years, and luckily your wife is not hearing. I felt that humor. Second one, when you say about opening, you said about leader either inspire or expire. It was another humor part for me. Thank you for that humor. and the great work. What we can do to improve your speech into next level Toastmaster Shakir? Here are two suggestions. First one, it was very good you were smiling throughout your speech except latter part. But I felt somehow some emotional incidents like you were struggling with 4 years resource cut, but you were smiling. We can add some emotions to walk through the audience with you. Like we can say 4 years resource cut. I had only 3 members in my team. We can add some emotions and give us the feeling that you were struggling. Second one, yes, I got your inspirational leadership journey, but I felt somehow it was missing some call of action to us audience. What should we do? What was your call of actions? We can say Toastmasters. If you are in struggling situations in your job with your leadership team, or if you get a chance in future, don't avoid it. Accept you will get the results now or future. That was some strong call of actions. All in all, Rosma Shakir, I loved your humor and opening closing quotes and inspiration story. We can work on that emotions and the strong call of actions. All the best for your future speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudharma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudharma, for that crisp evaluation and valued inputs. Thank you to both the evaluators for the wonderful evaluation. I'm sure the speakers will benefit from the feedback that you have given. Before I proceed and hand over the virtual stage to the presiding officer, I would quickly like to ask Toastmaster Kala if there are any disqualifications in today's session of speakers.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Being a timer, as I note down the time of each role takers. In prepared speech session, both the speakers took 7 minutes, and in evaluation session, first evaluator took 2 minutes 47 seconds, and then our second evaluator took 2 minutes 50 seconds. And coming to tabletop speakers, our first speaker Sri Lakshmi took 1 minute 2 seconds, and then our second speaker Meeta ma'am took 2 minutes, Yogita took 2 minutes, and Vasim took 2 minutes. I think everyone speak within the stipulated time. There is no eliminations, I think so. Thank you, and over to TMOD.
Great. So everybody qualifies for the polls. Thank you. And over to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Priya Singh, and she deserves a big round of applause for conducting the entire meeting so very, very beautifully. Thank you so much. And I guess you played this role for the first time, Toastmaster Priya. So just for the guests, I would like to say Toastmaster Priya is a very new, recent Toastmaster with us, but it did not seem even a bit looking at the way you proceeded further. So very good, very good. Now, we have guests in the meeting with us. I would want to take a feedback from them. I can see Wasim Akram with his camera on. I think you joined a bit late, but still, if you could give us a quick 30 seconds feedback.
Yeah, ma'am, you've been, doing great, mashallah. Mashallah is a statement that when we want to appreciate something pretty much, we say these words. So, I have been attending a meeting with this club for the second time. Last week I came. Yes, I get late. It's something very regular with me. I've been working on this. But overall, the meeting decorum, the way we treat each other in the Toastmasters clubs, it's pretty awesome. Same vibe was there, very positive and very encouraging. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we have Toastmaster Shakir Ahmed, who was a speaker today, but he's also a guest for Gabbys. So Shakir, are you visiting us for the first time?
No, Toastmaster Jaspreet, it's been my third meeting with Gabbys.
All right. So
Yeah.
a quick 30 seconds feedback from you, Shakir.
Yeah, so the first and foremost thing which I want to highlight and appreciate you guys by looking at the agenda the way you prepare the agenda, the way you handle the meeting is quite commendable. I saw the agenda yesterday when Toastmasters Sunil Gupta posted in WhatsApp group. I immediately forwarded to my XCOM officers to take this as a benchmark and make this habit in our club. That is something we kind of benchmark Gabbys in every role that you guys played up. So that's something commendable.
Okay, thank you so much. So just because we have few people today in the meeting, I just want to add, when this year 2025 started, we had people joining in. They even got converted as Toastmasters with members with Gabbys. So they said they were hunting for certain very good clubs online and they were from different countries and they searched ChatGPT for that. And ChatGPT said, join Gabbys if you want this and this and this. So we also tried to search what all ChatGPT says. So this can be a quick homework for you guys. Also go see what is Gabbys over there mentioned as. So we've had people joining us for that. And that is, it's a quick report card that we get for ourselves because the more you do good, the better you want to be. So we are always striving. And as I generally say that, all of us are work in progress. So that is what we actually believe when we are conducting each and every meeting of Gabbys. Now, I think the polling is happening side by side and all of you are casting your votes. And then another thing, something which we practice over here at Gabbys, a habit of presenting the woes and the wows of the meeting that we experienced during the meeting. So I'll begin very quickly because we are falling short of time now. Quickly begin with the woes. Now, the first woe was a speaker with a long speech dropping out due to unforeseen circumstances. And as Toastmaster Marcy was talking about, speed breakers coming up and unexpected things happening. This was a big thing. Twice she called me that I'm trying to join, but see if I'm not able to join. And a person who has to deliver a 15-minute speech to manage time becomes difficult. That was a woe. It disrupted the meeting a little bit. Second was the timing needs to be done a little bit in a better manner. So we can discuss after the meeting, Kala, or you can get connected with the VPE on that. And now another woe is that there has to be no interruption. Nobody can speak when something is going on in the meeting. It's only the PO who can add on, else we are all connected through messages, and that is what we were doing. So let's not disrupt the flow of the meeting because the meeting is being recorded. Now, the vows, the good part about the meeting. Now, as I said, the speaker dropped out, but how beautifully, how seamlessly we moved ahead. And the entire credit goes to our Toastmaster of the day for that. She quickly, shifted gears and jumped into the boots of the table topic master. Beautifully done. Commendable Toastmaster Priya. So this is what, we do over here, that if supposing I had time, I would have messaged her and nobody over here would have come to know. That seamlessly she switched over the gears. And another thing which has happened for the first time in all our meetings, we have our educational speaker sitting in the meeting with the camera on till the end. And the best part is, if you see the chat box, she has been encouraging everybody, the speakers and everybody. Marcy, thank you so much. It really means a lot. To be there, totally immersed in the meeting is something beautiful that has happened today. And the third is, as we always say, the team spirit that is there within Gabbys. So when something happens, something good or bad, we see the team spirit at the back of it is what helps us move ahead in this manner and keep on, fine-tuning ourselves every time. So really happy to be able to do this. Now, are we ready with the results, Toastmaster Sunil?
Yes,
All right.
I have WhatsApp you.
Fine, got it. It's there. Now, the speaker, who's the best speaker? So, two speakers we had today. Toastmaster Disha and Toastmaster Shakir. And there is a tie. And both of them have bagged the first position. Congratulations, both of you. It was good to have you over here. And the best evaluator sitting right in front of us, Toastmaster Smruti. Congratulations, Toastmaster Smruti. Loved the way you evaluated and pointed out the things to the speaker. And the best table topic speaker, again, sitting right in front of us, Wasim Akram. Beautiful take you had on that topic. Great, you switched on the camera and you came up and you took up the topic. Thank you for that. and the favorite role taker. Do I have to even announce that? No. Toastmaster Priya Singh, the Toastmaster of the day. Congratulations for doing this commendable job, Priya. Thank you very much, everybody, for being there with us till the end of the meeting. And our next meeting will happen on Saturday. As I said, we meet thrice a week. So the next meeting happens on Saturday at 10 a.m., which is a hybrid meeting. So please join us there. And until then, good night, good day, greetings of the day, whichever part of the world you've joined from, and see you in the next meeting. Thank you so much, everybody.